Hi, everybody. My name's Chris Walker, and I work in product development at Rio Products. And I want to thank our friends at Duranglers for inviting me to join their virtual spring event. They've asked me to do just a quick rundown of some of the new products that I'm excited about from Rio. They came out in the last year, and I could go really long on this. There's tons and tons and tons of them. We've been busy this year at Rio, and there's just a ton of new product out there on the market, and all of it I think is exciting in some way. But I'll try to pare this down just to some of the products that I think are most relevant to the Rocky Mountain states and specifically trout fishing. So the first thing we're very excited about is our new coating technology, which is Slickcast. You can see it right there. This is a really cool coating technology, and it actually allows us to make the highest durability and the slickest fly lines available on the market. So we've got a range of lab tests that we run at Rio. The first of them is a series of bars that we draw a line over and we measure the forces required to move that line. By measuring those forces, we can back out how much friction is developed between the line and those bars, and that, of course, tells us something about how slick the line is. So Slickcast, I'm really excited to be able to harp on this, is actually the slickest fly line we've ever measured on that lab setup. We've also got a couple of tests that measure durability. One just bends the line and unbends it repeatedly over thousands and thousands of cycles until it cracks. And we, of course, record the number of cycles that it took to make it crack. And that tells you a little bit about how long the line is going to last before cracking when you're fishing. The other durability test runs the line over a fixed surface, and we basically measure abrasion. And we tell how many cycles it takes for the line to develop those abrasions. So again, on both of those, our new Slickcast coating outperforms basically all the competition. So that's been the big story of the last year for Rio. These come in a bunch of different tapers now. But in addition to Slickcast, we have a new core technology as well, and that's called Connect Core Plus. Now, for about 10 years now, Rio has been a leader of making fly lines with low stretch cores. Low stretch cores are a huge advantage, in my opinion, particularly for setting the hook. If you've got a lot of line on the water and you're trying to get tight on a fish really quickly, having a big rubber band between the tip of your fly rod and the fish is a disadvantage. So a lower stretch core reduces some of that elongation that takes place when you set the hook. I think you hook more fish and land more fish as a result. So those are the two main technologies. And they're available in a range of fly lines, but there are really two series of fly lines that are worth paying attention to for those technologies. The first is the Premier series, and that includes our Slickcast coating technology, so it'll have that excellent durability and slickness. And the other is the Elite Low Stretch series, and as the name suggests, Elite includes that low stretch core as well as the Slickcast. So really, those are the two tiers of trout lines and how they compare in terms of technologies. Now, about a year ago, we released these new technologies in kind of a limited range of tapers. We picked 4 tapers that are really central to trout fishing and kind of revolve around trout fisheries. My favorite of them is the Rio Gold. It's the box I keep holding up here. This is a really great all-around taper and one that Rio's been making and sort of pioneered, a very, very long time ago. It's remained a favorite ever since then. So if I had to pick one line to take trout fishing, that would be it. It would be an Elite Rio Gold because it's great for, a huge range of applications, everything from dry fly to nymphing to streamers, soft tackles, you name it. If it's trout fishing, the Rio Gold can make it happen. There's a few more trout tapers. We've got also the Elite Technical Trout, which is another favorite of mine because that's set up specifically for small flies and delicate casts. So it's a great dry fly line. And really, probably the most exciting thing that's happened in the last year is we've spread the Slickcast technology across just a huge range of applications. So in January, we released a range of lines that are specific to tropical saltwater. So if I was going bone fishing in the Bahamas or tarpon fishing in the Keys, there's a Slickcast line for both of those applications now. And then most recently, actually, in just a couple weeks, we'll have an even wider range of applications covered in Slickcast lines. Everything from a 000 double taper for the smallest rods in the smallest water, up to a 12-weight full Type 7 sinking line for offshore applications. Now, it would take a long time to go through all those tapers, so I've picked just 2 that I think are really cool and relevant to trout fishing. The first is the Rio CREEK, and that'll be available in Slickcast starting in middle of April. This is an awesome taper for small water, small rods. It's really set up to optimize casting performance at about 20 feet, which I find is sort of the median cast length when I'm fishing a really small stream, and it makes it a really fun line to fish in those conditions. The other is the Predator, and this is actually a full series of fly lines that'll be available in April. Goes everything from 5 weight up to 11 weight, and everything from a full floating line to a Type 5, Type 7 sink tip. So this is a line that's set up for throwing pretty big flies, so great streamer line. If you're into streamer fishing, that's got both the Slickcast technology as well as that Connect Core Plus for good positive hook sets. That's my absolute favorite streamer line on the market. So that covers fly lines. It doesn't cover all the fly lines, of course. We've got tons and tons more out there, but that gives you an idea of some of the cool stuff that's coming out in terms of fly lines. The other cool thing we've released in the last year is a brand new tippet material. And it's a super premium fluorocarbon tippet material. It's called Fluoroflex Strong. And as the name suggests, it's an exceptionally strong material. We do a bunch of testing in our lab of tippet as well. And this one actually has as high or higher break strength to diameter ratio than any other tippet on the market. So all that means is if you buy our 5X, you know that it's as strong or stronger than any other true 5X material out there. That, of course, is just a straight pull break strength. What's even more important than that is knot strength. And that, I think, is really where this fluorocarbon shines. In addition to being exceptionally strong on a straight pull, you can tie a really nice knot. It seats knots exceptionally well. It doesn't want to burn or bind as you're tightening your knots down. And the result is exceptionally high knot strength, which is perfect in trout fishing applications. We've also added half sizes for the first time ever this year. So we've got 5.5X, 6.5, and 4.5 as well. So anytime that you find that you don't want to step up or down by an entire X size when you're trout fishing, particularly with small dry flies, or maybe if you're Euro nymphing, this is a really great option for that. We've got these new half sizes available as well. And last but not least, we've got a brand new Euro nymphing line. It's called the Technical Euro Nymph, and this is actually probably the most unique Euro nymph line on the market. And the reason for that is it's an integrated connection between a fly line and a leader butt. So you can see here, this line transitions seamlessly from a coated fly line portion here to a pink high-vis mono Euro nymph style leader butt. That's really nice, of course, because most of the time when you're Euro nymphing, the connection between line and leader is actually within your rod guides. So when you're fighting a fish, you have to drag that connection out through the guides and it can hang up. It also can add weight, particularly if you're doing a loop-to-loop connection. You've got a couple doubled over pieces of line in your guides. And weight is always a bad thing in Euro nymphing. It causes the line to sag between the guides. So we've come up with this really unique way to connect line and leader butt. And you can see it's totally seamless. There's no added weight. There's no knot, nothing to get hung up in your guides at all. So the idea with these lines is when you've rigged it, you've now got, it's actually a 14-foot length of level monofilament here, and that just forms the butt section of your leader. So if I was to take this out fishing, I'd go out and I'd rig up maybe 1X sighter on the end of this and then do a couple steps down to whatever tippet material I wanted to fish. But that's really nice because it's customizable. There's a million different leader formulas out there for Euro nymphing, and basically with this setup you can tie any of those leader formulas directly onto your fly line, and now you've got this super nice transition. So that's the Technical Euro nymph. It actually comes in two versions. It comes in a full length version, which is 80 feet of coated line and 14 feet of leader butt, as well as a shorty, which is only 20 feet of coated line and a 14-foot leader butt. So that's nice if you're trying to add it to the front of a conventional fly line to quickly transition from maybe a dry fly rig to a Euro nymphing rig. So anyway, those are just some of the new fly lines from Rio. As I said, there's many, many more. Duranglers, I'm sure, can help you decide on the right one for you, as well as describing some of the other ones I didn't get a chance to talk about fully in this video. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Duranglers virtual Spring 2021 event. Thanks.